Hey guys, it's Tana, and I'm here for my very first video for Kraftgali, where happiness is homemade. So this is my surprise announcement. Once a week on Hump Day, or Wednesday, as most people know it, I will be doing a video for Kraftgali. So we have here a set from Avriel. I think it's called Party Animal or Party Foxes. I'll have it listed down below. And we're going to stamp these out. Now, you guys know I'm still trying to figure out this program, so I run through some of the coloring and then skip the rest, etc. So you guys can get a gist of what I'm doing, but so that we can fit more than just coloring into the videos. So we've got here some VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink, and I'm going to go over that with clear embossing powder because I plan on using some Zig Real Brush pens. So I flipped that over and I repeated those same images, and then I took a bunch of the small images, cake slices, whole cakes, party favors, and covered the rest of the paper with it. I mean, I stamped out a lot of images. So I'm going to show you how I colored the fox. And there was the first set of colors that I used, and then later on I'll list what I used on all the accessories. So, like I said, this is my very first video for Kraftgali, and as I told you guys over the summer, I've been wanting to do a gift card for one of my giveaways, and it got pushed off till this month. So instead of doing it for another store, I figured why not celebrate the fact that I am now making videos for Princey over at Kraftgali, and I'm going to give away a gift card. Now, when I told Princey my idea and told her I wanted to do a gift card for $25, she told me she thought that was a great idea and she would like to add $10 to it. So the winner will win a $35 gift card to use at the Kraftgali shop. I'll also have that listed below. You guys are going to have to excuse me. The kids have gotten me sick basically over and over again since we got back from vacation. So I will let you know later on in the video how you can have your chance at winning the $35 gift card from Kraftgali. So the colors I used to make the fox, I wanted to make him look like he had reddish brown fur. So I used, I think, like a deep red and then regular brown. And I don't know if the camera really picks it up, but you really can see it. The reddish brown, those colors went well together, and they gave me exactly the look that I wanted. I used, I think, brick beige, because of course you guys already saw it, but I wasn't paying attention. And warm gray too for the belly and the tip of the tail and the paws. And then I just went in with a whole bunch of other colors for the cake and the cake frosting and the presents, and they're listed right there. I did probably overdo it. I probably stamped out, embossed, and colored way more images than I needed, but we are going to make 2 cards. I don't know if you guys saw the picture at the beginning there, but we are going to make 2 cards. And I ordered this Real Brush blender pen. It's the 3rd blender pen I've tried, and I picked it up over at Princey's website, Kraftgali. I love the way it blended. That's not to say I won't ever use a water brush again, but it really was the best out of all the ones I've bought so far. So here I'm taking some Distress Oxide and Squeeze Lemonade and my blender brush. And I just wanted to do an area right in the center. And we're going to cut that out with a Lawn Fawn dotted, lined, stitched. Wow, guys. Stitch rectangle die. I'm not sure of the size. It's significantly smaller than what I usually use. I think it's like 3.5 by 4 or something. No, yeah, 3.5 by 4, something like that. I can't tell you the exact size because I bought both sets of those rectangles and then just threw them both in the same package, which was not very smart of me. Now I'm going to take the little confetti stamp, and then there's 2 like flower looking stamps, but you can also tell they're decoration. And they're 2 different sizes, and I stamped the background all over with those with some more of the VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink. And those will be heat embossed with clear embossing powder as well. But we're not going to leave them blank. We're going to fill them in with the real brush markers. And I used Distress Oxide knowing that I was going to color over certain areas of it. So the blender pens really do go over it well. They don't really mix. As long as you're not too heavy-handed, you can tell every color you used over the yellow. It didn't change any of the colors I used at all. So it worked out pretty good. And I wasn't quite sure about it, how those colors and those two different items were going to react together. But it did work. So now because that's not enough of a card front for me, I'm going to go in on a piece of Bristol Smooth. That other one was done on Bristol Smooth as well, with some picked raspberry. I'm going to cover the entire thing. And then I'm going to use my spray bottle and also my hand to get some water droplets on this Distress Oxide and make it react. And after I let it sit for a couple seconds, I'll just lay my microfiber cloth right over it and soak up some of that excess water. And then we're going to trim that down so it's only 1/8 of an inch shy all the way around of the actual card front size. I just wanted a little bit of the black background of the card front to show. And then you have the pink mat, and then we'll have that very festive top layer. I just used some double-sided adhesive here that I got off of Amazon on the card, the back of the card. Not the back of the card. You guys gotta excuse me. I am actually hiding in the car right now doing my voiceover. I tried to do it last night, and Jax would not go to sleep. He didn't go to sleep till 2 o'clock in the morning. I tried to do it at nap time, but Jax did not take a nap, and all I could hear was him screaming good morning, because that's what he says to you when he doesn't want to nap anymore, into the baby monitor. Here we're putting some double-sided foam tape on there. It's just that thin stuff I got off of Amazon, and we're going to pop that main card panel up on top of the pink mat. And so I'm hiding in the car because then I tried to get the kids to go into the girls' room to watch a movie so I could just do the voiceover real quick. We are now at about 4:30 in the afternoon after school, and they're still fighting and screaming, so I'm hiding in the car. I just have a piece of thin black cardstock here, and I'm stamping with clear embossing powder. I stamped out both sentiments that came in the small stamp set. One of them said happy birthday, and the other one says you party animal. I put some Ranger Superfine White detail embossing powder on those and heat set them. And now I'm just going to cut them out with some straight lines, separate them, and make them as thin as I can. You don't want to cut them too close to your sentiments, and trust me, I've done that before. But I wanted them to be thin enough because they'll both be on that small card front. One's coming in from the left, the happy birthday, and the other one will come in from the right. And they go out so far as to line up with the edge of the pink mat. I popped those up with a Dollar Tree foam tape. I just cut it small enough to fit onto the back. And I placed those on top of the card front. And that foam tape on the back of the festive panel, we'll call it, is so thin that the dimensional difference between the sentiments and the pink layer was almost nil. So that is a benefit to using that foam tape, as I didn't have to double up any foam tape on the sentiments to make them level. It didn't need it. I put some more of that Dollar Tree foam tape on the back of the two foxes. And that's pretty much it for this card. And the second one is a little bit more fun. This one was fun too. I always love working with Distress Oxides. There's so many different things you can do with them. And then there's that smaller guy there. He's too cute. And there you go. Now the second card, we're going to use a piece of Neenah 110 pound. We started out with this card panel being 5.5 by 4 1/4, and I'm just putting a score line every 1/2 inch I show you that I'm using the dotted square stackable dies by Lawn Fawn, and I put the tape, as you notice, it'll be on the top of my hand. That's because I did this once and my purple tape ripped my paper when it came out of the die cutting machine. I just showed you my paper cutter there to remind myself that I did in fact trim this down to be 5 1/4 by 4. Then I put one of the square dies. I will measure the size and put it down below. Cut out the center there, and I'm showing you that I will be using 2 different squares later on. I used the bigger square to cut out my acetate. Now, I left this stuff on there on purpose to show you. You can buy acetate, or you can rip it off the front of your kid's toy package like this piece was. Now, I wouldn't advise using acetate off the front of a store-bought package if, say, you're going to heat emboss on it, because that's not going to work. But it works for this purpose, for a shaker card. And here you see I'm using some hand sanitizer just to clean the plastic off on both sides, and it really does work wonders for a cloudy piece of acetate. And then I'm going to use some art glitter glue to attach that acetate to the back of my card front. My nose is so stuffy, guys. I hate cold season. And now I just have a sentiment strip that I cut out. You can use any sentiment strip that you have. And I'm using my little sand eraser to get off all the shavings. Sometimes there's those little tiny pieces of paper hanging off when you die cut a piece of paper. And now I'm just going to use the Happy Birthday sentiment with some VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink. And I am going to heat emboss that with clear embossing powder. Oh, excuse me, I need a drink, guys. I hope you guys can tell the difference. Not only is this my first Kraftgali video, but it is my first video with a new microphone. Hopefully that solves a lot of the problems. There you saw me doubling up that foam tape. Now, if you're using regular Scotch foam tape, you don't have to double it up unless you like the thickness with your shaker cards. I did that with this stuff because it would be absolutely impossible to have a shaker card with this stuff unless it was doubled up. So I had to double that up, and honestly, after I put the card together, I wish I would have added another layer. That's how thin this stuff is. Excuse me. So I put that on the back. Excuse me, guys. And now I'm going to place that Happy Birthday straight across that acetate, but I'm going to attach it to the frame. So I just took a piece of blue textured cardstock that I had in my scraps, and I thought it would match the colors in some of the party items I colored with the stamped images. I'm using some Lawn Fawn glue from the tube, and I'm going to attach my Happy Birthday there. And after I'm sure it's dry enough, I'm just going to snip those edges off so you can't see them. And then I'm going to pull the Lawn Fawn glue tube out again, and we're going to attach this to the front of the window for the shaker. This stuff dries fairly quick. I think my favorite glue is still the Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive because that stuff dries super quick. It's easy to work with. So there's my frame around my window. Now I'm going to take that inside piece that came out when I die cut the frame, and I'm going to put that on my shaker base, we'll call it, because it's not the card front. It is my shaker base. So I kind of center that, and I left this piece 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 so I could trim it down after the shaker was together. You could still see a little bit of white, so I went around with my BG45 marker because it matched my cardstock the best, just so you couldn't see any white when you look in the window of that shaker card. So I'm just taking some of the stamped images I cut out, place them in the center there, and then I'm going to use some of these Lilac Lane sequin mixes, and this one's called Fiesta, and you can find it over at the Kraftgali shop. And then I also added some clear confetti sequins, I think, just to give it some offset of color. And then I took my other powder tool from EK Success and went around the inside edge so my sequins wouldn't stick. and place that over that 5.5 by 4.25 panel. Now I'm just going to trim that down, which I don't think I show, but I do trim that down so that it's even with the card front. Oh, I did show it. Look at that. Just so you guys knew. You got to be very careful with this, though, with that scored background, because it puts tiny little nicks wherever the indents are. I was fortunately able to straighten them back out by lifting them with my fingernail, but I will definitely be more careful next time. Now we're just going to attach the whole shaker with some art glitter glue onto our card base. And that was fairly easy to do. And I did put a block or two on that to make sure it was dry before I picked it up to show you guys. And now we're going to put some Lawn Fawn glue on the back of the 2 foxes that I had left. And we're just going to glue them onto the front lower portion of the panel, or the card front. There's that guy there. And then I don't put the little guy all the way to the other side. It just looked weird to me, so I kind of put him more towards the center, so that they kind of looked like they were having a conversation. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my first video for Kraftgali. Leave a comment below telling me what your favorite stamp company is for images to color. And I'll pick a winner in about a week's time. I will put down in the description box below how long you have to enter the giveaway. Make sure to leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe to Kraftgali and take a look at their channel. And don't forget to click subscribe and the notification button for my channel as well to be aware of all those giveaways. Talk to you guys again soon. Bye-bye for now.